Hi there, and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you Algebra 1. And in this video, we are going to look at word problems of systems of equations. Now, up until this point, you have solved systems of equations by graphing, by substitution, and by elimination. And if you're unsure of any of those three methods, I suggest you go back to the lesson 1, 2, and 3 videos in this chapter to help you out with mastering those topics before you go on to solving the word problems. Because we are starting off with our first word problem right now in exercise number 1, which says, two different high schools are planning a field trip to Philadelphia. Long Beach High School has 3 filled buses and 4 filled vans, with a total of 186 students and teachers. Wantagh High School has 4 filled buses and 2 filled vans, with a total of 218 students and teachers. How many people does a full bus hold? How many people does a full van hold? So we're going to be looking at two different places. One is Long Beach High School, and one is Wantagh. So we need to set up an equation given the information for each of these high schools. So Long Beach, we were told 3 filled buses. So we know how many buses, but we don't know how many people each full bus could hold. So we're going to use a variable there. And for buses, maybe B would be the easiest variable to use. You could use X, but then I would suggest setting up let statements where you let X equal the number of people per full bus. But B gives me an idea that B is going to be buses in the end. Plus, we have 4 filled vans in Long Beach High School, and we know that there's a total of 186 students and teachers. Using the same logic, we have 4 filled buses for Wantagh and 2 filled vans, and there's a total of 218 students and teachers there. So now what we have just created is our very first system of equations from a word problem. Now what we want to do is we want to use one of those methods that we learned to solve this system of equations. Well, this setup of equations where we have both variables on the same side of the equal sign, they're nice and lined up, this should remind you of the elimination method, where that might be the easiest method to use in this scenario. Again, all methods could be used, but the elimination might be the easiest. And that's because we're going to start off by looking at opposite coefficients. Do we have opposite coefficients? And I don't think we do. So now, what would be the easiest way to get opposite coefficients? By multiplying one of these equations by a constant. And now that you've looked at these two equations, and if you needed a couple more seconds, you could pause the video. The bottom equation, we can multiply by -2. Because by multiplying that bottom equation by -2, that will give me a -4v, which is indeed the opposite of +4v. So let's distribute that -2 to all terms of this equation. So we have -8b minus 4v is equal to -436. Now we're going to recopy the equation we have not used yet, right underneath it, lining up our b's with our b's, our v's with our v's, and our constants with our constants, and especially the equal signs with the equal signs. So when we combine this, we're going to get -8b plus 3b is going to give you -5b. The 4v and the -4v will cancel out, and this will leave us with -250. And finally, we want to divide by 5 over here, -5, excuse me, and we'll get b is equal to 50, which means that a full bus holds 50 people. So we can write that over here as a note. A full bus holds 50 people. But we're not done yet because we need to also know how many people a full van holds. So we're going to go back to doing our work up here. And now we're going to take our b value and substitute it into either equation. I'm going to choose the top equation, although you could just as easily choose the bottom one as well. So I'm going to get 3 times b, which is 50, plus 4v is equal to 186. 3 times 50 is going to give me 150 plus 4v equals 186. To isolate v, I'm going to first subtract 150 from both sides. And I will have 4v is equal to 36. Finally, I will divide by 4 to isolate v, and I will get v is equal to 9, which means that they did not use 9 vans, but a full van holds 9 people. So at this point, we've answered both parts of the question: how many people a full bus holds and how many people a full van holds. And we did that by setting up a system and solving it using the elimination method. So if this video was helpful in setting up a system of equations based on a word problem and then solving that system using the elimination method, please give it a thumbs up, and you're ready for exercise number 2 by clicking on the link in this video. Thank you for watching.